What's going on, RotoBallers? Dave here, and I feel like I've talked way too much about these rookies. Let's talk about these second-year players. These are the three sophomores that RotoBaller thinks are ready to break out. I'm going to give you one at running back, one at wide receiver, and one at quarterback. And no, I'm not going to be giving you one at tight end because, no surprise, it'd probably just be Brock Bowers because the rest of the position is an absolute wasteland. So let's get right into it, and I want to start with wideouts. I think it's got to be Xavier Worthy. I mean, we saw him really flash week one, taking a sweep to the house, but then he kind of trailed off a little bit. But from week 10 on, this guy earned 5+ targets every game. This guy had 2 of his highest volume games in week 16 and week 17. Especially with these rookie players, it takes them a little while to really catch on. I like to see kind of if they sparked at the end of the season to really carry that momentum on. And Xavier Worthy is 100% ticking all those boxes, averaging nearly 100 yards per game in the Chiefs playoffs run, including 3 tutties. So for a small guy, he's still getting in the end zone. And then we look at the Chiefs' current roster, right? We got old man Travis Kelce. We have Hollywood Brown coming off injury. Rashee Rice coming off injury. Juju Smith-Schuster, he's still on the team? Yeah. He'll probably be coming off injury. I mean, the target share is wide open. I believe that Xavier Worthy could absolutely see 120 targets moving into this next year. I think he's a sleeper, and he's absolutely a second-year breakout. All right, let's move on to quarterback. Call me a homer, if you will. I'm a Bears fan, if you don't know. But guys, has anyone had a better offseason than Caleb Williams? He didn't even have to do anything. He is absolutely ready to break out in fantasy in this second year. We look at last year. Everything that could have went wrong for this kid went wrong. He had Shane Waldron as his offensive coordinator, and then he saw his offensive coordinator get fired midway through the season. He had to deal with Eberflus for an entire season. The kid was watching film alone in a dark room. His O-line was absolutely terrible. Yet, still, from week 11 on, this dude averaged 250 pass yards, a touchdown and a half, and 31 rush yards. So he began to use his legs, and that is absolutely going to add to his floor and his ceiling here in fantasy. Then we look at what the Bears have done since last season. You're going like this with your glasses. I don't even recognize them. I'm like, is this actually going to be my Bears? Did we actually do something right and smart in the offseason? Completely revamped our O-line, just locked up Joe Thuney. Good job, Bears. Then in the draft, took care of offensive weapons right off the bat with their first pick. They took a very athletic tight end, Colston Loveland, to add to the other side with Cole Kmet already. Then they added another wide receiver, Luther Burden III. And what I like about Luther Burden is he's a playmaker after the catch. So we're talking short little slants, behind the line of scrimmage, right to Luther Burden, Caleb Williams. Easy yards for you and your fantasy team. And then, of course, Ben Johnson is now at the helm, and this is a guy who turned Jared Goff back into a man. So, in Ben Johnson, I trust, especially in fantasy. Caleb's going to break out. Do not sleep on him as a QB1. Yeah. And finally, I'm going to end with a running back. This one might surprise a lot of people. I really like what I saw out of Trey Benson. I think he's absolutely ready to break out. You look at the yards per carry last year, 4.6 as a rookie. In certain games, it was all the way up to 6.5. It's just that the opportunities weren't there for this guy. He never saw more than 12 touches in a game. And then we look at who's in front of him. James Conner. The reason why I had so much Trey Benson on all of my underdog best ball leagues is because I was convinced there is no way James Conner is going to break his own record and play all 16 games for the first time in his career. And he did. He friggin' did. But you know what? I don't think he's going to do it 2 seasons in a row. That was the first and only time he's played 16 games. James Conner's always banged up, and guess what? He just turned 30 years old. Give me the younger, faster Trey Benson, who they spent a decent draft capital on just a year ago. And then in this draft, they did not address the running back room at all. So once James Conner goes down, I do believe they want to put the ball in the belly of Trey Benson. And I just like the Cardinals team as a huge bounce back team headed into this next season. RotoBaller just put out an article with the strength of schedule, and Arizona Cardinals were top 5 easiest schedule heading into next season, especially at the running back position. So I'm going to have a lot of Trey Benson again. Only this year I really expect those shares to pay off. Those are my 3 sophomore breakouts. Who do you think is going to break out in year 2? Throw it in the comments, throw a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next week with more fantasy content.